Hey guys, today we are going to go over our weekly essentials number 4. This is part of the review that we are doing over previous coordinate algebra topics that we have learned in order to prepare for the EOC in May. So today we are going to be talking about writing the equations of a line as well as graphing lines. So at the top of your sheet you will see that you have several formulas that we have discussed. We have the slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. We have the slope-intercept form of an equation and the point-slope form of an equation. So let's go ahead and scroll down and look at question 1. So question 1, we are given an equation and we are asked to graph this linear equation. So the first thing that we want to do before we are able to identify the slope and the y-intercept of this equation is we need to get this equation in slope-intercept form. If you will remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So by looking at this equation for number 1, we see that we have y plus 4 equals 2x. So if I want to get y alone, I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides of the equation. And I will have y equals 2x minus 4. Now that our equation is in slope-intercept form, I can easily see that my slope is 2 because it is the coefficient with the x. And my y-intercept is negative 4. And I'm going to go ahead and write the y-intercept as a point. So our y-intercept will be at 0, negative 4. So now when I go to graph this line, I'm going to put my point at the y-intercept. So 0, negative 1, 2, 3, 4. And my slope is 2. So thinking about rise over run, I'm going to go up 2 and over 1. Up 2, over 1, up 2, over 1. And that's enough points. I can go ahead and connect these points and draw a rough sketch of the line. Okay, same thing for number 2. We want to get this equation in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to add 3/4 x to both sides of the equation. And when I do this, on the left I will have y, and on the right side of my equal sign I will have a positive 3/4 x minus 1. Okay, so notice here that my coefficient is 3/4. So my slope will be 3/4. And then my y-intercept is a negative 1. So that point will be at 0, negative 1. So again, to graph this, I'm going to graph my y-intercept first at 0, negative 1. And then I'm going to think rise over run. So I'm going to go up 3 and over 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 1, 2, 3, over 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to connect these points to draw my line. Okay, let's move on to question 3. So question 3 is asking us for the slope-intercept equation of the graph on the right. So first of all, let's remind ourselves, the slope-intercept equation is y equals mx plus b. So here we should be able to look at this line and identify m, our slope, and b, our y-intercept. So let's notice first our y-intercept. Where does our graph cross the y-axis? If you'll notice, our line crosses the y-axis right here at the point 0, 2. So our y-intercept is 0, 2. And let's try to identify our slope. So I already have one point on my line, and here's another up here. So in order to determine the slope of this line, I can think rise over run. So going from the point on the left to the point on the right, I have to go up 2 and over 3. So I'm rising 2 and running 3. So my slope would be 2 over 3, or 2/3. Now I have everything that I need to write my equation in slope-intercept form. So this would be y equals my slope, 2/3, times x, plus my y-intercept, so plus 2. Okay, let's look at number 4. Okay, number 4 says graph the following line. Well, the easiest way to graph lines is to go ahead and pull out the important information from your equation. So first of all, I can see that my coefficient is -4/3. So my slope will be -4 over 3. Second, notice that my y-intercept is a 2. So the point where my line will cross the y-axis is 0, 2. Okay, so I'm going to start at this y-intercept at 0, 2, and draw a point. Now using my slope, I can sketch the rest of my line. So I'm going to go down 4, down 1, 2, 3, 4, over 1, 2, 3. And let's do one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Notice that I went down 4 and over 3 because I have a negative slope. Okay, I'm going to connect my points and draw a rough sketch of my line. Okay, if you will flip over your sheet, you will see that we have problems 5 and 6 still to do. So I love 5 and 6 because they combine a lot of the ideas that we have been talking about. So first, let's look at 5. 5 gives us two things. 5 gives us the slope and a point on our line. So because we are given both a point and a slope, we can write our equation in point-slope form. Now let's do a little refresher. Point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, so here we have our m, we have our x1, and we have our y1. So basically you are taking the formula that you know and plugging in the numbers that you are given. So here we would have y. Now instead of minus y1, we know our y1 is 2. So this would be y minus 2 equals, well, what is m? What is our slope? So for this problem, our slope is 3 times x minus x1. Well, for this problem, our x1 is 4. So we have x minus 4. Now we have our equation in point-slope form. Now the nice thing about point-slope form is we can easily simplify this down to get our equation in slope-intercept form. So let's remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay, so I'm going to take the equation that I just wrote, and I'm going to simplify this down. So I'm going to write it over here on the left. I'm just rewriting the same equation that I just wrote, and I'm going to show you how to simplify it down. All right, the first thing that you should notice is that you can do the distribution property here. So I'm going to distribute this 3 On the left, I will still have y minus 2. And now on the right of my equal sign, I will have 3 times x, which is 3x, and 3 times negative 4, which is negative 12. Okay, now I want to get my y alone on the left side, so I'm going to add this 2 to both sides of my equation. And I'm left with y equals 3x minus 10. Notice that this is slope-intercept form. So I have y equals 3x minus 10. Okay, number 6 takes it one step further. We are given 2 points, and the first thing that we need to do is find the slope of the line. So both of these points are on our line. So let's call this x1 and y1, and let's call 50 x2 and y2. So first recall the slope formula, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So in this case, our y2 is 0, and our y1 is 4. So 0 minus 4 divided by our x2 is 5, and our x1 is 3. So 5 minus 3. This gives us negative 4 divided by 2. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. So our slope here, or we can call it m, equals negative 2. Okay, the next step is to put our equation in point-slope form. I'm just going to rewrite the formula so we have it. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So for point-slope form, we need to have two things. We need to have a point on the line, and we need to have the slope. Well, we just discovered that the slope is negative 2. Now we need to have a point. Well, we're given 2 points in our problem, so let's pick one to use. I'm going to go ahead and use the first point they give us. So here we go. Y minus y1. Well, my y1 here is 4 equals m, my slope is negative 2, times x minus x1. Well, my x1 is 3. So this is my equation in point-slope form. I used the point 3, 4, and I knew that my slope was negative 2. So I'm just going to rewrite my point-slope form over here on the line. Y minus 4 equals negative 2 times x minus 3. Okay, last but not least, we want to write our equation in slope-intercept form. In other words, we want to have the y alone. So the first thing that I'm going to do is distribute this negative 2. And that will leave me with y minus 4 on the left and negative 2 times x, so negative 2x, and negative 2 times negative 3 plus 6. All right, almost there. Let's add 4 to both sides. Okay, y equals negative 2x plus 10. And I'm just going to rewrite that on my line. Y equals negative 2x plus 10. Okay, guys, this was Weekly Essentials number 4. Feel free to go back and rewind this video if you need to look over some of the problems again.